So we've arrived now at episode 3 of season 2 of My Adventures with Superman. This episode has some cameos in it, probably trying to bring up some of those member berries to get people interested and all, but still doesn't work. The episode starts off with Superman saving Silas Stone. Yes, that's the father of Victor Stone, who would later become Cyborg. He saves him from a burning building. Now, when he comes into the building to save him, a new power unlocks in him, some kind of new super-like aura force field around him. So they're really going for this electric blue Superman thing where they're giving him powers akin to that. And it really working because, the fact that Superman already has abilities that would make these things, somewhat unneeded. It is just them trying to create something that ain't working there at all. But anyway, he saves him, and when he gets him out of the building, he hears some other people in trouble, so he goes to save them. And then who comes out? Leslie Willis, and she still looks as horrible as ever. That was the worst design they could have come up with for Leslie Willis. She looks like Butch beyond Butch. That's the best way to put it. Like, there's nowhere else to put it. She's just Butch as hell. Honestly, I mean, if she didn't speak and nobody actually told anybody that she was a woman, you'd never guess. Or she just Butch as hell. So she shows up there, and turns out that she started the fire, and she threatens Silas to delete some records off of his phone and to not talk to anybody about anything like that. So we clearly know something is going on there. Back at the apartment where Jimmy and Clark lives, Sam Lane is there, and apparently he sits around all day now staring at the TV, drinking things and leaving the place messy, and he's somewhat paranoid and doesn't want to actually do anything, and Jimmy is busy trying to get the actual 11-year-old child that works for him. That same flip girl, 11-year-old child, because labor laws mean nothing anymore. She wants to go and check out some lead she have on some killer robots, and he don't want her to go. So anyway, when Clark comes back in, Sam is all questioning him about where did he go and all kind of thing. And then he tells him, he's a flake, he doesn't this, that, and the other. It's barely any kind of interaction whatsoever. For some reason, it's supposed to be important. I'm not sure why. So when it is now that Clark contacts Lois because he has some stuff that he needs to tell her about the key that he got to getting his cousin back, she's on assignment at Amertech to check out some new thing that they're going to be releasing there. And when she gets there, she meets Vicki Vale is there. Now, why exactly is Vicki Vale in Metropolis to cover this? I don't know. She's the editor-in-chief of the Gotham Gazette. You have reporters you send out for that. But no, and even still, why would you be in Metropolis? You literally live and work in Gotham City, one of the most corrupt cities in the entirety of the DC universe. And if that's not good enough, the city actually has a man who dresses as a bat and goes around at night beating the crap out of criminals. You would never be out of work. You would have stuff to write about all the time. I mean, what would your readers want to read about more? Some robot crap that going on in Metropolis, or a masked vigilante beats the crap out of criminals and exposes the mayor. Common sense, and she's there acting like she's this field reporter instead of an actual editor-in-chief. The whole reason why they have Vicki Vale is to try and play Lois Lane off of her, Lois needs to measure up to Vicki Vale and show that she's a good reporter to all that. That doesn't happen. Lois Lane is Lois Lane. You don't need to show her any and show up anybody for anything like that. Lois is a great reporter just by her name alone. All you really need to do is show her actually doing stuff, doing investigative reporting, and it could work. But when you don't know how to do that in this series because you're more interested in putting some weird rivalry between these women that supposedly people are supposed to care about, it just falls flat. So they go to Armortech to do this, and the CEO, Thomas Weston, has this line of Metallo robots, and he's talking about how, these robots are going to be out on the streets protecting everybody, and they're stronger than Superman. I'm like, how does everybody have this gauge of exactly how strong Superman is? Like, is there some sort of test that he did and they all got the numbers on it that I'm supposed to be unaware of or something? But that's what happens. And, the robots start to freak out at the testing, so something wrong. Then Lois and Vicki tried to question him about his missing scientist, John Henry Irons, but he won't take any questions. They sneak into the lab and find the place destroyed and realize something's up, and then they have this whole who could one up who to get to the story faster, run and chase kind of thing, which is just really, really stupid. So Jimmy tells Clark that he believes Flip has gone to check on some killer robot things because yes, leaving an 11-year-old little girl to go and do that sounds perfectly fine. Very, very fine. Very, very fine. So anyway, Clark turns into Superman and flies him to where she is. I mean, just remember Superman could fly, so that whole thing of him spending over $1 million to buy some plane to fly them to the Antarctic, that clearly was a waste of money there. But anyway, so they go and they end up at John Henry Irons' place. And I don't know why they make John Henry Irons look kind of, heavy. I guess the best way to put it would be, I mean, he's always been depicted as a tall, well-built man, not in this thing. I guess they're trying for this whole body positivity thing, but it just doesn't work. And he, of course, talks about how he mentions his niece Natasha Irons and all of this stuff, who, of course, later on she will also become Steel, and because it's DC Comics now, she's also a lesbian. Yeah. Because everybody in DC Comics needs to be gay now for some strange reason. Not sure why they think that's entertainment, but whatever. And he tells them that apparently when he and Silas was working for Western, he originally wanted to design some steel armor suits that would help first responders and firemen and these kind of things to help people. But instead, Thomas Weston wanted them to create the Metallo robots. The only problem is that the rush production and the Metallo robots are unstable. The power source that he had them make this armor fusion thing, when the robots come together, the power source tends to go out of control and overload the armor fusion. So basically, this idiot has built a bomb in the middle of the city that would go off and kill everybody. Understand me? And rather than think to himself, that's going to be way worse for my company than anything, no. He just wants to be number one and get his robots out there. So when he got rid of them from the project, he sent Leslie Willis, aka Livewire, to hunt them down and intimidate or kill them to cover up the evidence, because that makes sense. So when Lois and Vicki show up at John Henry Irons' place now, Livewire shows up also. She blasts Superman because, of course, that's what happens. He activates his little energy force field thing. She ends up destroying John Henry Irons' computer that has his evidence on it. God forbid you back it up to the cloud, but whatever. And then she escapes running. I mean, it's not like Superman has super speed and could easily catch up to her, but no, he just lets her go. So Superman and John Henry Irons decide that they're going to go to the to Tech to try and shut down the fusion reactor because it's dangerous and it's going to destroy the city. Irons goes there in his steel mech suit, and when they get there now, this idiot, right, Thomas Weston, this literal idiot, they're trying to tell him that this thing is dangerous and he needs to stop. No, he activates his metallo robots and sends the robots after them, and he is holding the only control that could shut down the fusion reactor. He destroys that. I mean, common sense would dictate if this fusion reactor blows and you're in the city, you die too. But I don't know, so he's obsessed with being the first at it, and it doesn't really make sense because it's not to say like this is his life work or something. And he just weirdly wants to be number one, and it's just stupid. I think I'm going to put it really, really freaking stupid. So Superman and John Henry Irons fighting off the robots. Of course, the robots are slapping Superman around because that's what they need to do. Steel comes there, helps him, and all of this stuff. And then when so John Henry tells him that they have to take out the pillars that that charge the energy to the fusion reactor. But when the fusion reactor actually starts to go out of control now, John Henry tells him that there's nothing they can do, it's going out of control. So Superman goes and puts his force field thing around it, right? And then John Henry starts to take out the pillars. And I'm like, but you just said that there was nothing you could do. Why are you taking out the pillars? No, I thought it wasn't going to work. Because, you see, they're trying to set this thing up without any kind of logical common sense to what they're doing. And because Superman could have easily taken out the pillars, that would have been the end of it. But they want to make John Henry the hero of it without actually putting any thought into what needs to be done. You could have set it up like, Superman had to hold off the reactor because of this reason, and John Henry had to go in to manually shut it down. Okay, that could have worked, but no. So he goes there, destroying the pillars, and when he goes to destroy the final one, the metallo robots hold him back, so he come out the suit, pick up the hammer, and starts whacking away at it, and ends up shutting it down. Alright. The end of it now, Weston is there about how, he's not a bad guy, he just wanted to be number one. You sent a woman to burn down a man's house and intimidate him. You also sent another woman, you also sent same woman to kill another man. You built a bomb in the middle of the city and wouldn't listen when people told you it was wrong. You destroyed the device that could have turned it off, and you sick killer robots on two people who were trying to stop it. Exactly how are you a good person? Oh. So after that's done now, Vicki Vale and Lois are there talking, and Vicki Vale tells her that she just uploaded her story to the Gotham Gazette. Again, you're the editor-in-chief. That's anyway. But then Lois tells her that she's been writing her story while she's on Lingo all the time, and she uploaded it 10 minutes ago. So Vicki Vale offers her a job at the Gotham Gazette. I think the only reason Vicki Vale is there to try and play her off of Lois, and it just doesn't work because you have no reason for being there. You live in Gotham. Why are you even there? Or whatever. So then, John Henry is using his steel suit to clean up the fallout debris from what happened when Lex Luthor shows up and tells him that, his new company, LexCorp, has bought out Tech, and they've confiscated all the materials there, including the steel suit, because it belongs to Tech, and now it belongs to him. And then he also gets the metallos, all the metallo robots, and then you see him and Amanda Waller, they're watching all of them because, of course, they're planning something with those robots. And that's the episode. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't as awful as some of the others have been in season 1, but again, there are just too many stupid mistakes and too many stupid plot lines that go nowhere. I also forgot to mention one thing actually. Out of nowhere, Superman just says this thing to Lois about how, your dad was right about me. I am a flake. I get too caught up with other things to notice what's going on. You literally just saved the city while her father's been sitting around in his Sunday clothes, I guess you could call it, making a mess of your apartment. How are you a flake? But like I said, it was like a 30-second thing and I tried to make it into something it wasn't, but that's what it was. So yeah, like I said, the episode wasn't as bad as thing, but still too many stupid mistakes. Overall, though, I would give this episode a 2.2 out of 5. Not terrible, but still not great. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell. Be notified every time I put out a new video. I shall see you all next time. Take care.